Okay, Pancho, we saw Brian Herta make a stop before the end, before we went back to green flag racing. Brian Herta made a stop with 161 laps complete. Is there any way that he could do the final 39 laps on one load of fuel if he gets a caution like this and is able to conserve? This, for example, will probably be what? Maybe a 4 or 5 lap caution as they make sure all of the oil is cleaned up that was just laid down. Can he make it without stopping again, do you think?
He appears to be trying to. Let's put it that way.
So that was the thinking behind that stop we saw.
It looks that way. He doesn't seem to be running as fast, not working his way back up. So maybe he's sitting back there on a very conservative fuel mixture and is trying to conserve and gamble on a few yellows. I don't think if we hadn't been for the yellow, he would be able to do it. But if he can sit back there and everybody have to come in and take another stop on not being under yellow, there's a good chance that's going to be a good strategy. Okay, well, meantime, let's go downstairs to Kevin Lee because we're going to try to get an update from someone with Herta's crew and see if, in fact, they believe they can make it. We may have that question answered here very soon as all of the leaders are coming our way. So momentarily we will find out, and it looks like Brian Herta is among those. Herta has stayed on the track. Danica Patrick has stayed on the track. We'll give you an update here momentarily. Weldon is in. Mira is in. Franchitti is in. We see that Sebastian Bourdais is in. Buddy Lazier is in. So is the 8th. Let's go downstairs. Nicole, you're with Dan Weldon.
Your leader, Dan Weldon, is in the pits. He's taking 4 tires and just a splash of fuel. Down the way.
And Vitor Mira is at a stop. He's already underway. A 5-second tires and fuel. Kevin Lee. Vitor Mira got out first. Tony Kanaan here. He's been complaining of his car. He said, quote, it's terrible. He's been dealing with a vibration in the right rear, so that's why he's lost a few spots here recently. Okay, let's very quickly, if we can, go back to Dave Argabright. Dave, it almost sounded to me like Vitor Mira only took on fuel. Did he not take tires? Mike, in the chaos trying to watch 2 cars, I'm not positive. I thought he took right side tires, but definitely fuel. The interesting thing is that Danica Patrick, his teammate right next to him, did not come in, it appears, and leads this field. Does she have enough fuel to go the rest of the way? Well, we'll find out. And, Dave, if you could check to find out if, in fact, he took tires, because, Pancho, I don't see how they could complete a stop and get him out and take 4 and fuel in 5 seconds.
It'd be an awful good stop.
That'd be an awful good stop.
You know, and with the yellows and stuff, they might be gambling on a little extra, tire wear that they can get away with. I mean, it's a lot of pit strategy going on right now, especially with the Ray Hall Letterman team. I mean, they've got their one car that was involved in the incident and made a few pit stops, maybe has enough fuel to go to the end, and that's Danica, and then trying to gamble and just fill Vitor up with just enough. It'd be interesting. We mentioned the Charmed Life. Danica Patrick has shown your leader with 173 of 200 laps complete, 27 to go, and 100-pound Danica Patrick from Roscoe, Illinois, leads the Indianapolis 500 with 27 laps remaining. Let's go downstairs. Nicole Mansky, does Brian Herta have enough fuel to finish this race?
That seems to be the question of the hour, and not even his team fully has confidence in this. They did not pit. He currently sits in second, and it is very, very questionable.
Well, we saw Brian Herta win a fuel mileage deal, Dave, at Kansas a couple of years ago. His first win in the Indy Racing League. Going to be interesting. Donald Davidson?
We were just going to make a comment a little bit ago, and then there's all kinds of activity today. This is the most action-packed 500 I think we've had for years.
Yes.
Anyway, if I may, I love the human interest side of the things, and I'm always fascinated, as I was starting to say, about who knew who when. Danica Patrick is from Roscoe, Illinois. Nicole Mansky is from Roscoe, Illinois. They went to the same school.
Exactly.
They were cheerleaders together.
Yeah.
They knew each other in high school when they were just a year apart.
Unbelievable. We are green. We will complete 174 of 200 laps. Danica Patrick is the leader. The lap car, Briscoe, separates her in second place. Herta in 1.
Here comes Danica Patrick. She's not in front. Then Brian Herta. Then Mira. Then Weldon. Then Franchitti. It's Danica in turn 2.
For a moment, all is right with the world. Danica Patrick leading the Indianapolis 500. She's stretching away from the lap machine of Ryan Briscoe down the backstretch.
The advantage continues to stretch out for Danica Patrick. Brian Herta can't yet close up on the lap car of Ryan Briscoe. Already in a short shoot to the north end.
And Danica has a big 15-car length lead over the lap car. That is a Target machine. Herta has that car. Briscoe in front of him. Patrick leads.
Danica Patrick across the yard of bricks. 15-car length separates her from second place Brian Herta, who Jerry Baker is caught up behind the lap car of Briscoe. Nobody sitting here in number 1 and number 2, and Patrick is punching it out into that second turn.
Fans going nuts each time Danica Patrick crosses turn 2 with the lead. The battle is for second. Brian Herta has it, and right behind him, Vitor Mira.
When she was announced as P1, fans got on their feet. They haven't sat down yet. A huge cheer as Danica Patrick exits turn number 3.
She is through the short chute where she spun a few laps back. Now she comes through as the leader, and she's got a good 20-car length lead over Brian Herta.
Here comes Danica Patrick. Poncho, what a story this is. She backed all the way up to 16th after running in the top 4 early on. She stalled the car in the pits, went back to 16th, was finding her way back towards the front, spun on a restart, took out a couple of cars, damaged the front wing. They replaced it. Here she is leading the race with 24 laps remaining. This could be an unbelievable story.
If I were her, if she wins this race, I'd go buy a lottery ticket.
Well, I don't think she's going to need to if she wins this race. Let's update Danica and see what the story is. Does she have enough fuel to finish this race, Kevin Lee?
Ray Lato said it's going to be close. I believe it was lap 159, and before this race I was told 40 is the fuel window, but we've had some yellows in this stretch, so it's going to depend on what happens.
Generally speaking, you can get just about at speed about a gallon of fuel per lap, about 2.5 miles a gallon. So the question is, how much fuel were they able to conserve under the yellow flag condition? If, in fact, you are correct, Kevin, and she stopped on lap 159, it was on lap 161 that we saw Brian Herta stop, so he has an additional 2 laps on her. Could that be the difference? It could be here this afternoon at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 178 of 200 laps will be complete this time by. Danica Patrick still has the lap car cushion separating her and Brian Herta. Herta will dispose of Briscoe this time by. Jerry Baker, here comes Herta, trying to take down Danica.
Now here the chase is on. Brian Herta's been strong all month long, but right now, Danica showing no signs of giving in. She's in the second turn.
No luxury of a lap car between her and second place Brian Herta this time. Danica Patrick leads, but it's Brian Herta on the prowl.
Folks are starting to bunch up a bit behind her. There may be a line going to take shots at her. Brian Herta's cut it down to about 10 car lengths to the exit of turn number 3.
That Argent Mortgage Pioneer red and blue car 16 still has the lead. She's got the XM satellite car number 7 Herta. He is about 10 car lengths back.
2 rookies running in the top 5. Danica Patrick, number 1. Number 5, Sebastian Bourdais. We have seen Dan Weldon. He just made a move, Jerry Baker, to pick up 3rd.
And right now, Danica Patrick is running as smooth as line as anybody has run all day. She's comfortable in turn 2.
You may keep your eye on Dan Weldon. He's moved up to the 3rd position. He's the man on the move. If he can get around Ryan Briscoe, the lap car, he could be moving to the front.
Herta can't seem to close it. Stuck at about a 10 car length advantage. Oh, we had a car almost getting the grass. Jack Sharp slammed the door down low on Buddy Lazier. Lazier had to lift out of the throttle.
We saw that across the way. Now Patrick with the fans, their hands in the air. She's opened up now about a 15-car length lead.
Buddy Lazier has to be furious, Poncho Carter. It's the second time today that we have seen Scott Sharp nearly drive him into the grass on the back straight.
Well, I'm not so sure he didn't put him in the grass this time. There was contact, and Buddy's cleared down, actually it just barely touching the grass. I mean, that's totally uncalled for. I'd be surprised if we don't see something happen with Scott Sharp.
And we're being told, the 8 car, the Scott Sharp machine, is going to be shown the black flag for blocking that time. We need to pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the voice of the Indianapolis 500. This is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Radio Network.
I'm Liz Thomas, WIBC News. There's a 50% chance of thunderstorms this evening and into the Memorial Day holiday. Your high tomorrow, 72. WIBC, Indianapolis.
Scott Sharp, who was black flag for blocking Buddy Lazier, now on pit lane for his drive-through. Poncho, this is going to cost him big time. He was running 6th at the time. Probably going to cost him a top 10 finish here this afternoon.
It's definitely going to cost him. I mean, but it's rightfully so. I mean, he should be. That was a blatant block, and you just can't do that, those speeds. Well over 220 mile an hour at the end of the straightaway. You're asking to crash somebody or crash yourself.
Will we see history made here this afternoon? Unbelievable. Let's go to Kevin Lee. Scott Sharp, he has answered the call of the black flag.
It was just simply a roll through, and that's a long ways to go. 60 miles an hour, basically 5/8 of a mile.
182 of 200 laps are complete. 18 laps away. Danica Patrick, 23 years old from Roscoe, Illinois. She is looking to make history here this afternoon. And not just Indy 500 history, motorsports history, Mark James, as she leads the Indy 500.
Back straightaway, still no change. Danica Patrick has about a 4-car length advantage over Brian Herta. Dan Weldon starting to creep up on Herta ever so slightly. Then the lap car Briscoe, then fourth place Vitor Mira.
Well, the car to watch right now is Dan Weldon. He is right on the backside of Brian Herta. Herta and Weldon are about 4-car lengths behind Danica Patrick.
Well, the question today is going to be fuel. Who has enough, Dave Wilson, to get this thing completed?
About since she has pitted, about 8 of the laps she has run have been under yellow, so that may help her stretch.
So we will keep an eye on Danica Patrick. We will keep an eye on Brian Herta. We'll be talking to their crews to find out. The question now, does Dan Weldon have enough? Let's check in downstairs. Nicole Mansky, Brian Herta, you've got an update.
Well, they're not doing anything quite yet, but they are standing ready at the fuel tank. We'll let you know if something happens.
Okay, so we will keep our eye on the Brian Herta machine. The number 7 XM satellite radio car runs second behind Danica Patrick. The leader is Danica Patrick. 184 laps will be complete this time by as she crosses the yard of bricks. XM satellite radio machine of Herta runs second, but here comes Weldon in third, Jerry Baker.
The battle right now for second with Weldon and Mira or Herta going right after each other. Still Danica in the second turn. Weldon strong in the middle stages of the race, and it appears he saved something for the end. He's closing in on this end-ready green teammate down the back straightaway, Brian Herta.
Last time through here, Weldon tried to make a run. He's going to try it again. Look to the low side of Herta. He got him this time. Dan Weldon moves into second place. Sets his sights on Danica Patrick.
And Weldon now has his sights on Patrick. Car 16, about a 10-car length lead. Then the 26 car of Weldon, and he is making the move.
We're commercial-free through the final laps of today's race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Jerry Baker, Dan Weldon trying to chase down the 16 car.
But she's not getting it done. He's not getting it done. Danica continues to have about a 5-car length lead in the second corner. Ever since she took the lead, Danica Patrick has been smooth and consistent. Can she maintain it? Dan Weldon closing quickly down the backstretch.
Plenty of power in the midway point of the back straightaway. Dan Weldon gets down below Danica Patrick a bit. Doesn't run right in her groove. He's second behind her. 4-car lengths back in the setup of 4.
Well, these are a pair of Hondas going at each other. Now Weldon looks to go inside out of turn 4. Now he's right on Patrick's tail.
Here comes Dan Weldon to the inside of Danica Patrick, side by side as they cross the yard of bricks. Dan Weldon, the leader in 1.
Weldon will get the lead. Danica falls back. Now she's about 7 or 8 car lengths by. Yellow flag. Weldon has the lead into turn 2. Yellow, yellow.
So 186 are complete. We're working lap 187. Koski Matsura has the right front wheel riding up on his suspension. So we've got a problem with Koski Matsura, Jerry Baker, as we are now yellow with 13 laps remaining.
That right front tire of his is laying clear up on the hood, if you will. I'm not sure what happened, but when he came through here, he very wisely ducked into the exit lane to get off the main race course, and he is pulling to a stop about halfway down the back of the short chute over here.
Okay, so, Pancho, if there was a question about fuel, there's probably no question right now. They're going to be, and we say there, Dan Weldon and Danica Patrick and Brian Herta, particularly Patrick and Herta, who had made stops earlier than Weldon, they are going to have enough fuel that would appear to complete this race. Do they have enough speed to catch Dan Weldon?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the fuel issue is still maybe a little open, but these yellows, if it's not a long yellow, there still may be an issue. It looked like Danica it slowed down. I mean, she had to slow down. She had to conserve fuel and stuff, and Weldon doesn't. So, she's got to be able to turn up the horsepower a little bit, but it's a matter of whether she can get to him and get by him, because I'm sure now this is going to help Dan even more. I mean, he can just go ahead and go to max horsepower and see if he can run away with it.
It appeared that Koski Matsura pushed up into the turn 4 wall as he was exiting turn 4, made contact with the right front tire, and it simply broke loose. And let's check in with a guy who has got to be so nervous, maybe as nervous as an expectant dad. Let's go downstairs. Kevin Lee, you've got Bobby Rahal. What is his feeling on this situation with his rookie running second with 13 laps to run here today?
Well, I think the first question is, Bobby, do we know who's leading the race?
Well, we think we were when the yellow came out. either way, we're okay now on the fuel, but we definitely, we think we're in the lead.
How good has Danica been today? She had obviously the one mishap. What was your view, by the way, of what happened there?
I didn't see any of it. I just saw the smoke, but I think she's done an awesome job.
Good luck. That's Bobby Rahal.
So Bobby Rahal, and of course, so we talked to the other half of the ownership team, Rahal Letterman Racing, David Letterman in the pre-race show. Boy, Pancho, I can just imagine what those guys must be feeling right now. Danica Patrick has done an incredible job. She has taken advantage of some good luck here this afternoon, despite some bad breaks, and to race her way back up into contention here, boy, she's done a pretty good piece of driving.
Oh, she really has. I mean, she's had a few little the debacles, you might say, the spin there, and then she also, with the guy that just got in the wall now, Koski, they made contact earlier, and that could have been a wall hitting accident, but luckily they both got out of that. So it's going to be a dogfight here, but talk about charmed life. The two of them are charmed. I mean, Weldon is not falling into some wins, but got positioned to where he's won 3 of the first 4 races, and it looks like it's happening again.
Dan Weldon won the season opener at Homestead Miami Speedway, then went to St. Petersburg, won a huge race there at the Honda Grand Prix of St. Pete as he took advantage of a move by Tony Kanaan that allowed him to get underneath TK and pick up the win. And then, of course, at Motegi wins again as Thomas Schechter ran out of fuel with 2 laps remaining, leading the race, and Tony Kanaan had to pit, and that handed over the lead to Dan Weldon. So he has won 3 of the first 4, and he is in line now to pick the biggest cherry on the tree, and that is the Indianapolis 500. Dan Weldon now has 12 laps separating him from his face being on the Borg Warner. Dave Wilson.
Wonder how they'll have his hair look on that. That's what my first question is. But
a lot of moose, baby. A lot of moose.
How about this? How about Eddie Carpenter? Kudos to Vision Racing, 11th out there right now. And AJ's selection there to run that 48 car and starting 33rd, Felipe Giafone soldiering on, still running 16th.
Let's give him a full field rundown, Dave, as we will very soon have 189 of 200 laps complete. And as we mentioned, commercial free through the end of the race, and we want to bring you all the green flag play-by-play action. So here is the full field rundown for the 89th Indy 500. We are working lap 189. 189 laps will be complete as the cars now come down the front straight and will cross the yard of bricks. Dan Weldon is your leader. Danica Patrick runs second. Brian Herta is third. Sebastian Bourdais is fourth. Vitor Mira is fifth. Buddy Lazier is sixth. Tony Kanaan is seventh. Eighth place belongs to Dario Franchitti. Ninth place to Scott Sharp. 10th place to Elio Castroneves. All 10 of those cars are on the lead lap. 11th place to Ed Carpenter, 1 lap down. 12th place to Ryan Briscoe, 1 lap down. 3 laps down is 13th place Koski Matsura. 3 laps down, Alex Barron in 14th place. Also 3 laps down, Adrian Fernandez in 15th place. And 5, make it 6 laps down in 16th place, Felipe Giafone.
And 12 laps down in 17th is Jacques Lazier, the last car running. Everybody else is out of the race as we speak. 18th is Roger Yasukawa. 19th, Tomas Inga. 20th is Thomas Schechter. 21st is Patrick Carpentier. 22nd, Jeff Bucknam. 23rd, Sam Hornish Jr. 24th, Scott Dixon. 25th, Richie Hearn. 26th, Kenny Brack. 27th, Jeff Ward. 28th, A.J. Foyt IV. 29th, Darren Manning. 30th, Bruno Junquera. 31st, Marty Raw. 32nd, Jimmy Kite. And 33rd, Larry Foyt.
The full field rundown brought to you by Henry High Performance Building Products, available at the Home Depot. We're going back to Green Flag Racing. 190 of 200 laps will be complete this time by Danica Patrick going side by side with Weldon. She'll be the leader in turn number 1.
My goodness, they're 3 wide, but Patrick got up to the lead. Mira has jumped up to third. Danica Patrick up front of the 500. Crowd standing and cheering Danica Patrick. She takes the lead off of turn number 2. Dan Weldon right behind her. Then it's Vitor Mir in third.
She got the great jump at the exit of turn number 4. Used all that momentum down the straightaway. Fans on their feet, pumping fists in the air. Danica Patrick leads the way through 3.
And she has about a 6-car length lead. You know, Dan Weldon, when he's had the lead in the restarts, has struggled all day long, and he may have struggled on the biggest lap of the race.
191 laps about to be complete. Danica Patrick with about a 4-car length lead on Dan Weldon in turn number 1.
Weldon looks to the inside. Change his line. And Patrick jumps on it. Danica still out front in turn 2. Little down who the fan favorite is. Danica Patrick, a 4-car length advantage as the fans continue to salute down the backstretch.
Those two trying to distance themselves a bit from Vitor Mira. Weldon takes a peek to the low side, entertains thoughts of making a move. Sees that the deficit's too great. Really starts to close down the set of a 4.
Danica Patrick had the quickest lap this month, and now Dan Weldon right behind. 3 car lengths. He may look to the inside, right behind down the straightaway.
Dan Weldon right now just doesn't have the speed to pull her down the straightaway into turn number 1. It's Patrick by 3 car lengths.
And there is Patrick through turn 1. Weldon can't catch him. Neither can Mira. They're in the second corner.
These two battling for the lead has allowed Vitor Mira to close just a bit, but it continues to be a 2-car dance for the lead. Danica Patrick leading to turn 3.
Weldon takes a peek, decides wiser of it. Tucks right into the tire track. Already back in the short chute, the north end.
About a 2-car length lead for the rookie out of Roscoe, Illinois, Danica Patrick, about 2 cars ahead of Dan Weldon down the front straightaway.
Emberton English, Dan Weldon. He's going to move to the inside of the Roscoe, Illinois native. They're side by side. Weldon will try to take the lead into 1.
He will get the job done. Weldon took down to the white line. Now Patrick's going to play catch-up. Right behind her, Vitor Mira. 1, 2, 3, and 2.
Weldon completed the pass to the short chute, is now pulling away. Vitor Mira now looking to make a move. He rides in 3rd, looking for 2nd to get around Danica Patrick.
She got him on the restart, but she couldn't get him at the exit of 4 that time. Dan Weldon really starting to stretch it out now. Weldon at the exit of 3 has about a 15-car length advantage.
Dan Weldon has opened things up. He's won 3 of the first 4 races this year. Could it be 4 or 5?
We take a look at Dan Weldon as he begins to open it up. 8, maybe 10 car lengths separating him from second place Danica Patrick with 194 completed.
Danica Patrick's going to have her hands full with Vitor Mira, and Hurta's going to get a player, become a player 2 in turn 2.
No doubt right now the battle for 2nd. Dan Weldon is pulled away, and Vitor Mira continues to stalk Danica Patrick down the back straightaway.
Danica looks like she got up on the wheel a little bit at the midway point of the back straightaway, started to close that advantage a little bit. That's allowed her to gain some distance between herself and Vitor Mira running in 3rd.
Yeah, that red and white Weldon car 26, that gap has narrowed. I called it about 10 car lengths now as they move toward you, Mike King.
195 complete, 5 remain. Pancho Carter, what do you think? It took Weldon a while to get up to speed. He has not been good on restarts today. Boy, once he seems to wind that thing up, he really has a lot of speed.
Well, it's like I've been saying all day long. I think you want to be leading this race. You've got the cleaner air. Lap cars should not be an issue now because of just the number of laps left to go. Danica's car didn't look as good behind Weldon's car when he got by her, so she probably had to make some adjustments. Maybe she can make a little improvement and make a run at him. But right now, clean air, that's your, the best thing you can be in to go fast.
The Klein Tools Jim Beam machine last time by 222.024 miles an hour. About 6 car lengths separating first and second place. Vitor Mira now beginning to close in 3rd.
And he'll have to stay in that number 3 spot, though, Mike, because right now it's their leader, Weldon, then Patrick, then Mira, then Hurta, second corner.
Dan Weldon flexing his muscles with 4 to go at Indianapolis. Now the battle for 3rd is on. Brian Hurta closing quickly. He's got Vitor Mira in his sights. Can he make the move as they head down the back stretch?
That's the best battle now. Hurta starts to drop behind Mira just a little bit. He has Sebastian Forte, and so back up front, Dan Weldon continues to lead Danica.
They're through the short chute, wheels down along the white line out of 4. Dan Weldon now about a 12-car length lead over Danica Patrick.
Donald Davidson's been a long time since an Englishman has been in victory lane here at the Speedway.
Well, yeah, the last time would be Jim Clark in 1965, which is 40 years ago. Nigel Mansell looked like he was going to do it, but that didn't happen. But we're definitely seeing history here. This is one of the most amazing Indianapolis 500s ever.
Here comes Vitor Mira. Mira will make a move on the inside of Danica Patrick. Mark James made the hard charge to the midway point of the back straightaway. Was able to get the job done. Now Danica is in danger of losing another spot, and she does to Brian Hurta. Hurta grabs 3rd. He'll try to chase down Mira.
The question is, does Vitor Mira have enough for Dan Weldon, or does Weldon have enough for Mira? Weldon safely in the lead.
198 of 200 laps complete for Dan Weldon in the Klein Tools Jim Beam machine in turn number 1.
Vitor Mira has been quietly quick all month long, but does he have enough time and speed? Right now, it is all Weldon in turn 2.
We've talked all day about how much that clean air means, and it looks like it's the same in the latter stages. Dan Weldon pulling away down the back chute.
Dan Weldon has 27 top 10 finishes in just 36 starts. His biggest win may be yet to come. He's about 3 miles away from becoming a champion in Indy. Sebastian Bourdais slams the wall hard into turn number 3. He got collected with another car,
here. Lost it, tried to gather it in. Slaps the wall in turn 3. Mikey's riding down in front of Chris Teneri in 4.
White flag is out, and Dan Weldon is going to win the Indianapolis 500-mile race under yellow. Pick him up. He's in turn number 2 as the yellow comes out for the Bourdais incident. Adam Alexander is in front of you.
He started 16th, but at only his 3rd Indianapolis start. Dan Weldon going to celebrate victory at Indianapolis. Vitor Mira right behind. We're under caution on the final lap at Indy. Dan Weldon pulling down the backstretch as the crowd salutes Danica Patrick coming through in 4th.
Dan Weldon's been scratching his head all this month of May. He came here fast, but it didn't stay that way. He could do no better than starting 16th on qualifying, and he said that kept him probably from enjoying this month as much as he would have liked. But boy, I'll tell you, fans are on their feet, waving their caps to these outstanding champions. All these drivers putting on such a great show at the greatest spectacle in racing. Chris Teneri, the 89th Indy 500 champion, Dan Weldon, is coming into your view.
He is in the short chute. You know, Michael Andretti never won a pole, never won a race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He got a pole with Tony Kanaan. He will now be a car owner and a victorious car owner. Dan Weldon, followed by Vitor Mira, passes me into 4 with the call. Here's the voice of the 500, Mike King.
For much of the late stages of this race, it has been the Dan and Danica show, but it will be Dan Weldon winning the 89th Indy 500 as an Englishman. Will roll into victory lane at the world's greatest race course for the first time in 4 decades. Dan Weldon has won the 500. Vitor Mira is second. Brian Herta is third. Let's hear from car owner Michael Andretti.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Michael Andretti, you have won the Indy 500. How are you feeling